This is a lights out puzzle, and it's used in a similar way in video games as the previous puzzle I did a tutorial on, the 8 puzzle. Traditionally, it's 5x5, and the objective is to turn all the lights off, which is why it's called lights out, but the version commonly used in games is a 3x3, and the objective is usually to turn all the lights on. How it works is when a button is pressed, it causes that light and all adjacent lights to flip their state, like this. To prevent confusion, if your puzzle needs you to turn the lights off or on, I'll be using this online lights puzzle because of the colors it uses, so I'll consider green lights as solved. So for example, if your puzzle needs all the lights to be on, then a light is solved when it's on. And of course the opposite is true if all the lights need to be off. The method we'll use for this is partially intuitive, it's called light chasing, but the rest is algorithm based. You could do the whole thing with light chasing, but I've found it to be slow in practice, at least with 3x3. The first step is to reduce the puzzle so that 2 adjacent rows are solved. You can do this with a method called light chasing. How it works is, starting from one side, you can chase the unsolved lights to the other side of the puzzle. For this tutorial, we're always going to start with the top so that the middle and top rows are solved, and you can just ignore the bottom row for now. All you have to do is press buttons underneath unsolved lights, and when that row is solved, just move on to the next row. So like here, I want to solve these 2 lights, so I'm going to press the buttons underneath them to make the top row solved. And there we go, it's solved, so I just need to do the same for the middle row. So this button is unsolved, so I'm going to press the one underneath it to make it solved. And there, we've got 2 adjacent rows that are solved. Now that we've reduced the puzzle to a single unsolved row, there are only 7 possible states the lights can be in, and 2 out of those 7 are just mirrored versions of another solution. So now you just need to remember these 7 algorithms and recognize which one you need to solve whatever state your puzzle is in. There are 2 triangle cases, 2 T cases, 2 bow and arrow cases, and 1 weird case. Also, it doesn't matter the order you press these buttons in. And that's all you need to solve a 3x3 lights out puzzle. One last thing, if you accidentally make all the lights unsolved, you can press buttons in an X shape, so all the corners in the center, and that flips the state of every light at once. The first step is the same as 3x3 to get all but 1 row solved, but for the last layer we're going to use the light chasing method, just because the full solutions are much more complex than 3x3, so light chasing is easier than just remembering the whole thing. All this means is that for the last layer solution, after pressing the buttons shown in the solutions here, you just chase the lights down to the bottom like in the first step. And that's all the cases for 5x5. But there is also a board flipping algorithm for 5x5, just like 3x3, and it goes like this. Press these 3 in a diagonal line, then press these 4, and then these 4, and that flips the whole board. 9x9 is kind of just funny because it just solves itself. If you chase the lights down to the bottom, it'll either just be solved or make an alternating pattern like this. And to solve this, you just need to press a corner button and chase the lights down again. There's literally no other state the final row can be in. It's either just solved or in that alternating pattern. If you're wondering why 9x9 even exists, the challenge comes from trying to solve it in the least amount of moves.